Computer. All righty. Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Stuchel, and I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. And I am here to talk to you, this amazing Freedom Team. Over the past few months, we have had over 2,000 joins on our team. Did you hear that? Over 2,000 joins, which is amazing. So now what? What are we going to do with all of these people? What do you do? I want to talk to you about what we do with all these people, because here's the fun news. Guess what? The work has just begun. The work has just begun. You have heard it said so many times that this business is 20% skill and 80% mindset, right? Okay, and there are 4 skills. So out of that 20%, there are 4 skills: recruiting, retaining, duplicating, and leadership. So yay, we have recruited over 2,000 people. Guess what? That's only 5% of your business. Newsflash, only 5% of your business. Now, granted, without recruiting, you can't retain, you can't do any of these other things, right? So recruiting is incredibly vital. But I want you to learn from my mistakes, because I got stuck in a recruiting trap where most of my time was focused on recruiting. And guess what? I didn't retain hardly anybody. And so you know what I created? It was like I created nothing. I had a colander full of water. And have you ever drained pasta in a colander? What happens? You pour the pasta and the water in the colander and it just keeps running, right? Well, that's what it was doing for me. All my people that I kept pouring in were just pouring out because I wasn't retaining. So I created a great welcome pack business. It was awesome, and I wasn't growing, and if anything, my points were going backwards, and I was getting frustrated because I was doing stuff, but I wasn't doing the right stuff. So please realize that retaining your people and creating raving fans is as much income-producing activity as recruiting new joins, okay? So if you are not, I'm going to say this and be bold, hear me. If you are not going to work to retain your people and help them love their products and onboard them properly, please don't recruit them. Please don't recruit them. Because getting our people to love their products, spending time with them, educating them, showing them how they can duplicate, showing them the opportunity is just as important as recruiting. You will flatline and not grow if you are not doing those things. So guess what will happen? If you do not work to retain the people, guess what? They're going to come off in 2 weeks because they didn't lose 15 pounds. They're going to say Plexus didn't work, and then they're going to mouth off to all their friends. Oh, Plexus, I tried that for 2 weeks and it didn't work. What did that do for you? Absolutely nothing except get you a $20 welcome pack bonus and create more work. Retaining is just as important as recruiting, okay? And it's, you know, recruiting is one piece of the puzzle, retaining is one piece of the puzzle, duplicating is one piece of the puzzle, and so is leadership. I don't want you to fall into my trap where we get all distracted by the incentives in recruiting, right? And that can happen if you don't keep your eyes on the prize. Now let's talk about mindset, because 80% of your business is mindset, right? If you've recruited all these people, that's awesome. You're probably, anybody out there feel pretty comfortable recruiting, but retention kind of makes you nervous? Anybody ever get nervous to look in your back office? Has anybody ever gotten nervous to look in your back office and to see who's turned off their sub? Has that happened to anybody besides me? Like, I used to dread going into my back office. What are my points? Who's turned off their sub? Guess what? That's a mindset issue. What that shows is that I have not mastered the skill of retention. And more importantly, it shows that I have a lack of belief in myself and in this skill. Point number one, you can do this because retention is just a skill to be learned and mastered. Retention is IPA. Your goal is to create raving fans. When you go over and above and take amazing care of your people, guess what? These people will not just be happy product users. These people will end up being a vital part of your team. Do you remember if you were part of our Ninja Selling Book study? Adding value. When you add value to the people on your team, guess what? You won't have to go looking because they're going to be bringing people to you. When somebody feels good, they want their friends to feel as good as they felt, right? As you create and foster relationships and add value to the people that you've just recruited, you are gaining a competitive edge, and you are going to be creating loyal people, okay? Next point, you have the power to change what you're looking at. If you're one of those people that gets nervous looking at your back office, guess what? I used to be one too. Guess what? I could not wait to look into my back office every morning now, okay? And Brittany knows what I'm talking about. She's smiling. She knows that I used to dread going into my back office, and now I cannot wait to see what's going on in my back office. And my story, I used to have an awful retention rate, and now my team's retention is off the charts. You have the power to change. This is just a skill. Do you remember how nervous some of you used to be before you sent out a message? What am I going to say? How are they going to respond? What if they say no? Guess what? It's just like riding a bike, right? Most of you don't shake in your boots anymore sending messages. Retention is the same way, okay? It's just a skill set. Now, as you look at your back office, one thing I want everybody to write down and to practice. Be thankful for what's in your back office. Be thankful. Be thankful for what God has given you. And here's a principle, okay? And this isn't even on my notes, but someone needs to hear this. When you are faithful with what God has given you, guess what? He will entrust you with more. I don't want God to give me more until I'm faithful with what I have. Hear me, because if I'm not faithful with what I have, why in the world should God give me more? Be thankful with the people that you have. Be thankful that when you look, and guess what? Attrition is normal. You're going to have some attrition. And Brooke Hemingway, Double Diamond, says this. And if a Double Diamond says this, I'm apt to listen to her. People are programmed to quit. So when people turn off their sub or they do some of these things, just know that that's part of the process and doesn't necessarily reflect on you. As you begin to change your mindset and are thankful for those people that are on their products, thankful for the people that are loving their products, guess what? Your mindset is going to change. If you are dreading going into your back office, guess what? You've just discovered the problem. It's your mindset. You've got to grow in your belief. You've got to have rock solid belief that these products work. If you're worried that people aren't going to get results, guess what? It means you don't have rock solid belief. So get into Gut Health and Happiness and start reading product information sheets, watch Jessica Hogendorn's videos, and build your belief in the products. Build your belief. Educate yourself that it takes 90 days for your cells to regenerate. Educate yourself on the detox process. Educate yourself on why water is important. And educate yourself on what these products are doing for yourself. Because as you build your belief, guess what? It's not, your people are going to borrow and feed off of your belief because you know what you have on your hands here. And you will love, the people will understand, and you won't dread people turning off their subs because your posture and belief is what's going to carry your people through, okay? If detox scares you, that word scares you, watch every video you can get your hands on detox and educate yourself. This is a scientific thing. that it is a process. Detox is a process that if your kid, as the ProBio 5 is killing off the yeast is releasing toxins in the body. If your liver cannot process it fast enough, your kidneys cannot process it fast enough, then those toxins are going to stay in your body. It doesn't mean that the products don't work. It means the products are absolutely working. Educate yourself on detox. Do the research. Build your belief. If someone is going to the bathroom too much, ask questions. How many BioCleanse are they taking? Do investigative research. Are they taking ProBio 5 and BioCleanse together? Ask a whole lot of questions, and don't assume that Plexus products are automatically the problem. When I first started, this is a funny story. There was a friend of my husband's in Richmond, Virginia. He was a chicken lister for sure. And he got on the products because he had awful allergies. And so my story resonated with him. So he got on the products, and about 2 weeks into it, he calls me. He's like, Michelle, I've got to stop these products. I've got this awful rash all over my body. I freak out. I call Brittany. She walks me off the ledge. I'm totally freaking out. Ask him all the questions that she tells me to ask him. What is he taking and when, and how much water, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Wasn't Plexus at all. He had been doing yard work and got infested with poison oak. Not Plexus at all. Do not assume that symptoms are because of Plexus. We had another girl 2 days ago. She's worried. She goes, oh, I'm detoxing. She's been on the products, not even consistently, not even on ProBio 5. She's lactose intolerant, and she had greasy, cheesy pizza the night before. And the amount that she pooped the next day, she assumed was the Plexus products. I'm saying this to build your belief that as you build your belief in the products and understand the process, you're more equipped to deal with these things, and these questions won't rattle you, okay? Another thing you need to educate yourself on is time. How long do these products take to work? It takes 90 days for your cells to regenerate. 90 days. So understand that we are not offering a quick fix, and you need to tell this to your people up front. There's no such thing. These products are a long-term investment in your health. Okay, what are some other objections that people come up with when they want to turn off their products or whatever? They say the cost. As you build your belief in what we have, you realize that what we have is so reasonably priced. People that know these ingredients, we know the value of what we have, and we are amazed at how affordable these products are. Here's a question. As you are encountering these questions from people, whether it's detox or how long is it going to take or the cost, what objection do you keep getting? Because this is the area where you need to grow your belief, okay? The purpose of this call is not to go through the ins and outs of detox or the physiology of how long it takes your cells to regenerate. It's to give you the tools so that you can do the research and the learning yourself to build in the areas that you need to grow, because belief will carry you and help you retain your people, okay? So in terms of retaining your people and creating these raving fans, we've got two primary areas, okay? The first is onboarding them, adding them into our team, right? Introducing them into our culture. Brittany and Emily did a great call. You can search for it, search for onboarding in Freedom Team. And it tells you step by step how to get people plugged into our culture. Get them on the phone when they order, get them on the phone. Remember, this is a people helping people business. And the more you take time to connect with people, the more effective you will be long-term. Please don't do all of this via text, because people are joining you, and the way to create a connection is over the phone, either voice to voice, face to face, or belly to belly, okay? And then you can find out what are their goals. You can make connections. You can talk to them, and that is invaluable. Connections are rarely made via Messenger, okay? So you get them on the phone, you add them to the team page. This onboarding call has great graphics that you can print out, so you can literally have a checklist for every new join, okay? Vital, vital, vital point here. Three-way calls and messages. Each one of your joins needs to be ideally on a three-way welcome call with your sponsor, or at the very minimum, a three-way chat with your sponsor. If you are not doing this, I'm not going to take you seriously that you're serious in building this business, because there is something so special that happens in three-way validation. And this is not Michelle saying this. People a lot smarter, wiser, a lot more successful than me have told us how to do this. And I've seen it time and time again. Because you may be the one to bring people in, but it is the connection and the culture and the community that will keep people. Just over the past couple weeks, I've seen countless times via a three-way call where someone has said, oh, I don't want to sell. Oh, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And by the end of a three-way call, they've thought of 3 to 5 people that they want to start sharing with. Guess what's the number one way to get people to love their products and to stay on them? You help them go silver. So that three-way call is a vital piece to that puzzle, because your sponsor has just a way of phrasing things and in a very non-threatening way of presenting, getting them to start thinking of people that they can start sharing with. And it is magical, okay? This is a critical part of retention. And I'm preaching to myself too. So if this is an issue for you and you're not doing that, ask yourself why and talk to your sponsor. Okay, first posts. Asking people to do a first post. Hey, Brooke Hemingway says this in her Road to Rank Up video. She says, and a lot of times I do this on my three-way calls, I'm going to ask you to do something for me because I build my business on referrals. Would you consider making a post saying how you've been watching me in my journey, or if I'm on a three-way call, you've been watching Celise. She's had all these great results. I've made a change. Who else wants to do this with me? More often than not, people say yes because they want to help their friends. And it's a great way to get them more invested. Here's another way to get them more invested. The more investment they have, more actions on their step, guess what? They're more invested in the process and in the whole experience of Plexus. Here's a question. Would you be open to doing either an online or an in-person wellness event so we can help more people? Whether it's, inviting people over to your house or doing a sip and see, and that way we can help you help more people, okay? These are all parts of the onboarding system. We've got Files and Freedom Team. We have systems in place. And as you utilize these systems, they are going to help keep your people connected and create these raving fans that will not only be happy product users, but will turn into your teammates that end up propelling you to your next rank and goal. Okay, now let's talk about our 10-touch method in terms of helping people love their products. 10 touches within the first 30 days, okay? Do you realize that that is over 2 contacts a week? Over 2 contacts a week with each and every join. During your 10-touch method, you are going to encounter all these things, whether it's, detox, I'm not taking enough water, I'm not pooping enough, or I'm doing great. This is where, the rubber meets the road, right? I want to show you how to deal with these objections, because that's all they are, on the front end before you encounter them, because that's where magic happens, okay? Don't be scared. Don't be alarmed with all of these questions. It's part of the process, and you know what this means? It just means your people don't have belief yet, right? When someone gives you an objection, you listen for what they're saying behind what they're saying. They just don't have belief. So it's your job to handle those objections. Okay, I've got to start flying. Do you remember when 199 packs came out? Brooke Hemingway made this great video and she said, you know, 199s are the best pack for our people because they're going to get the most products and have the most product support, right? Because when people have more product, they're going to get results faster, right? And instead of just starting out, you know, a lot of us started out with triplex, right? Let me give you a hint. Most people need more than just triplex. Jessica Hogendorn will not sell triplex alone. She only sells triplex with X Factor Plus. As you are talking to your people, you always give them options of a 199 pack and a 99 pack. And I always tell people at the very minimum, I recommend triplex and X Factor Plus. Now it's up to them what they choose, okay? Totally up to them and their price point. But I say this is totally up to you, but what we can do is if you want to start with triplex, what will probably happen is in your second month, we will want to add X Factor Plus or Ease or whatever it is based on their goals, okay? So setting their expectation for that, because most people will have an abundance of BioCleanse or whatever, and X Factor Plus is really going to take up their results a notch, right? Because of the aloe, because it's methylated, and everybody needs a good multivitamin, okay? As you set the expectation in the front end of what's going to give them the best result, when they're telling you, you know, week 3, week 4, whatever, that they're just not getting the results that they want, or they want it to be faster, you can go back and say, do you remember when we first started and we said that X Factor may be a, you know, take your results up a notch, or you're still tired. We mentioned MetaBurn. This may be a great time to add that in. And it's not like you're having to upsell and look like you're just selling. You're simply going back to what you first said at the beginning. Setting realistic expectations as you are first talking to your people is so important. So important, so they don't feel like you're simply trying to sell them products, but you're literally showing all the tools in your toolbox to them so that they realize everything at their disposal. I tell them my story. I started with triplex, absolutely, but then I did add X Factor Plus, and then I quickly went up to 4 Pro Bio 5 and stayed on that for 8 to 9 months. And after that process of 8 to 9 months, I was able to come off medicine. Setting those expectations are so critical so they understand that this is not a quick fix it and 1 month is going to change all their ills. Same thing with timing. Remember, it takes your cells 90 days to regenerate. They've got to understand that. So I will say, are you willing to work with me? Will you commit to working with me for 90 days? Communication, talking to me, drinking enough water, staying consistent, because these products work, but not if they stay in the bottle. Will you work with me and commit to working with me so that we can get the results that you desperately want? And when they do, absolutely, they will get the results, okay? We live in a microwave generation, but unfortunately, there's no microwave popcorn for health. The science is sound, and if you give it the proper doses and consistency, they will work. Okay, so all of this is setting expectations up front. So what do you do when you come in and, or someone ghosts you, right? Or someone turns off their sub? What do? Okay, number 1, you get on the phone. Get on the phone with them, because this is a relationship business. And this is why it's so important to get on the phone from the very beginning. If you're just getting on the phone when they've turned off their sub, you've missed the boat. Care about the whole person. Care about the whole person. Because you've gotten on the phone with them with the beginning, it's not going to seem strange when you get off the phone, when you get on the phone with them when their sub is turned off, okay? Listen for what they're saying behind what they're saying again. And your belief will carry them and give them the faith to keep going. Lovingly remind them what you've said and about the proper expectations. This happened to me just this week. A woman you know, everything had been great. Her mood was better, her energy was better. And then I get this text because I hadn't heard from her, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her. And she sends me this email. I was really hoping that Plexus would be awesome, but it isn't. I'm really disappointed. I'm going to stop. So, hey, when can we chat? Last thing I heard was, you know, I start asking her questions, you know, tell me what you're taking and when can we chat? So we get on the phone, and she was willing to talk because I had gotten on the phone with her from the very beginning, okay? I dug a little deeper. It turned out she had not been drinking enough water. She had been drinking about half the water, and she wasn't consistent on her products, okay? This is what I said to her, and this is where your belief is so important. I said, listen, tell me why you started this to begin with. And then she gave me all the answers and the why. I said, listen, I care about you too much to see you quit now. You are so close to getting your results. Do you remember how we said that it takes 90 days for your cells to regenerate? Do you remember how we said that your microbiome can change in as little as 3 days? You have been working so hard, and as you are consistent, as you stay the course, I know it's hard to start a new habit and it's hard to drink enough water. Do you realize that your job, people, is as a cheerleader? You need to infuse them with belief. Say, look, you've come so far and you've got grit. You can do this. And it's hard to stay where you are. I know it's hard to form a new habit, but you are so close. I don't want to see you give up on yourself. I am committed to you and to your results. And guess what? The girl stayed on. At the end, you know what she told me? Michelle, thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for getting on the phone with me. Thank you for not letting me quit. And that is your job. You've got to call those things out and infuse them with belief. And it starts with your own belief. And you cannot just say, okay, when someone wants to do this. This is a relationship business, and you have to take the time to maintain those connections, ask the right questions so that you can uncover what they're saying behind what they're saying. I hope that makes sense. So the last thing I want to talk about, and I only have like less than a minute to do this, another great resource for you, a fabulous way to get people staying on their products and loving them is to help them get their products paid for. With this new Fast Start program, if someone has 3 people use their referral link, I'm talking about in July, we don't know what the promotions are going to be, but without any additional stimulus, without anything additional, if someone has 3 people join them, if they join in June or July, they can earn $300 for having 3 people use their referral links. And you just develop those skills of helping them think of people. April's call about helping people go silver is a fantastic one. We have resources out the wahoo, but it stems from your own belief. So you've got to take the time to onboard your people well. You've got to take the time to do the 10-touch method. You've got to take the time to feed your own knowledge and belief about detox and handling objections, because it doesn't stop when you recruit. You've only just begun. And as you continue to add value to your people, as you continue to infuse them with belief and to build the relationship with the 10-touch method, you're not just going to create happy product users. You're going to create raving fans that are going to give you the competitive edge and help you get you where you want to go, and they're going to get where they want to go as well. I hope this encourages you guys. It's 9:35, so I'm going to stop. So happy Monday, and go spend time doing IPA, retaining your people. Happy Monday, everybody.